Are you tired, truly, deeply tired of feeling like you're screaming into a void? Do you pour your heart, your soul, your sweat, your tears into your work, only to feel like it goes completely unnoticed? You post, you share, you create, you network, you do everything they tell you to do, but the recognition you crave, the respect you deserve, it just feels out of reach. It's like you're standing in a crowded room, shouting at the top of your lungs, but everyone else is just talking louder. The noise, the endless, deafening noise of self-promotion, of look at me, of I'm the best. It can drown out the one thing that truly matters, the one thing that has the power to change everything. You start to feel less like a creator and more like a commodity. Your value measured in likes, shares, and fleeting moments of digital attention. The silence that follows a post you were proud of can feel heavier than any criticism. It's a silence that asks, did I even matter? What if I told you there's a different way, a quieter way, a more powerful way, a way to not just be heard, but to be remembered, a way to build a reputation so solid, so undeniable, that it doesn't need a megaphone? What if I told you that the secret to getting the recognition you deserve lies not in shouting louder, but in the profound, earth-shaking power of silence? It's a secret championed by one of the most respected, most revered figures of our time. A man whose presence commands attention without him ever having to demand it. A man whose work, whose craft, whose sheer, unadulterated excellence speaks with a voice that echoes through generations. I'm talking about Denzel Washington. And his timeless advice holds the key to unlocking a level of success and fulfillment you've only dreamed of. So, if you're ready to stop shouting and start building, if you're ready to let your work speak volumes, then stay with me, because what you're about to discover will not just change how you work, it will change how the world sees you. Let's talk about the grind. That word, grind, it gets thrown around a lot, doesn't it? Rise and grind. Respect the grind. It's become a hashtag, a catchphrase, a mantra printed on coffee mugs. But do we truly understand what it means? Do we understand the soul of that word? Denzel Washington does. He once said, without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Read that again. Without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not about the one heroic effort. It's not about the all-nighter you pull before a deadline. It's not about that one moment of inspiration that has you working in a frenzy. That's fleeting. That's temporary. The real magic, the real power is in the quiet, unglamorous, day-in, day-out dedication. It's the commitment to your craft when no one is watching. It's the decision to show up, especially on the days you don't feel like it, especially on the days when the inspiration isn't there. Especially on the days when doubt is creeping in, whispering those terrible lies in your ear. Is this even worth it? Does anyone even care? Am I just wasting my time? That is the grind. The grind is the foundation. It's the painstaking process of laying one brick perfectly, then another and another and another. You don't see the cathedral when you're laying the first brick. You just see the dirt, the mortar, the single solitary brick in your hand. But you lay it anyway. You lay it with precision. You lay it with care. You lay it with the belief that you are building something magnificent, even if you can't see it yet. Think of the Chinese bamboo tree. For the first 4 years, you water it, you nurture it, and you see nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just a tiny shoot, barely breaking the surface. From the outside, it looks like failure. It looks like wasted effort. But underground, something phenomenal is happening. It's building a massive, intricate network of roots, a foundation capable of supporting what's to come. And then, in the 5th year, it explodes. It shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Did the tree grow in 6 weeks, or did it grow for 5 years? The world only sees the 90-foot spectacle. But the strength, the height, the very existence of that tree was determined by the years spent in silence, in darkness, in the unseen grind. This is the power of quiet dedication. It's the understanding that mastery isn't an event. It's a process. It's a journey into the very heart of your chosen field. Think about it. Think about the people you admire most, the true legends, the icons. Do you think they got there by accident? Do you think they got there by just being talented? Talent is a spark, but the grind, the dedication, that is the wildfire. Consider Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. He was famously cut from his high school varsity team. He went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. But what did he do the next morning? He got up and he went to the gym, before school, after school. He was the first to arrive and the last to leave. He didn't just practice the shots he was good at, he relentlessly practiced his weaknesses over and over and over again until they became strengths. He wasn't doing it for the cameras. There were no cameras in that dusty high school gym. He was doing it for the love of the game, for the burning desire to be better than he was the day before. He was on the grind. He was building his foundation. Consider J.K. Rowling. Before the world knew the name Harry Potter, she was a single mother, struggling to make ends meet, writing in cafes whenever she could steal a moment. She received 12 rejections from publishers. 12 times the world told her no. 12 times the door was slammed in her face. Imagine the self-doubt. Imagine the despair. It would have been so easy to give up, to say, well, I tried, it's not meant to be, but she didn't. She had a story to tell. She had a world inside her that demanded to be brought to life. So she kept writing. She kept refining. She kept believing in the work, even when no one else did. She wasn't on social media posting about her writing journey. She wasn't networking at fancy literary parties. She was in the trenches. She was in the grind. She was laying one brick at a time. And when that work was finally unleashed upon the world, it didn't just speak, it roared. It created a cultural phenomenon that will outlive us all. That is the power of quiet dedication. It's the faith you place in the process. It's the relentless pursuit of excellence for its own sake. It's the understanding that your work is your warrior, and when you forge it in the fires of dedication, it will fight battles for you that you could never win on your own. So I ask you, are you truly on the grind, or are you just going through the motions? Are you committed to the process, or are you just chasing the outcome? Your answer to that question will determine everything. Now let's go deeper. Let's talk about the work itself. Denzel has a powerful analogy for this. He says, a man who is a master of his craft, all he has to do is walk in the room and his work will speak for him. You know, the hammer doesn't have to tell you it's a hammer. Just let that sink in for a moment. The hammer doesn't have to tell you it's a hammer. It doesn't walk around boasting about its ability to drive nails. It doesn't post pictures of the houses it has helped build. It just is. Its form, its weight, its balance, its hardened steel face, its very essence communicates its purpose. It is unapologetically, undeniably a hammer. And when it is wielded by a master craftsman, it performs its function with such efficiency, with such grace, with such power that no explanation is necessary. The result speaks for itself. The perfectly driven nail, the solid joint, the sturdy frame, that is the hammer's testimony. This is the principle of letting your work speak for you. In an age of personal branding, of endless self-promotion, of carefully curated online personas, this idea feels almost revolutionary. We're taught that we have to be our own biggest cheerleaders, that we have to shout our accomplishments from the rooftops, that if we don't promote ourselves, no one else will. And there's a grain of truth to that. But we've taken it to an extreme. We've become so obsessed with the packaging that we've neglected the product. We're so focused on building the brand that we've forgotten to build the thing the brand is supposed to represent. Denzel's wisdom offers a profound alternative. It suggests that the most powerful form of promotion is undeniable quality. It's about creating something so good, so valuable, so masterfully executed that it becomes its own marketing campaign. It's about shifting your focus from how can I get people to notice me to how can I create something so remarkable that people can't help but notice. Think about a master luthier, a violin maker like Antonio Stradivari. For centuries, the name Stradivarius has been synonymous with perfection. These instruments, crafted in a small workshop in Italy over 300 years ago, are considered the finest in the world. They sell for millions of dollars. The greatest violinists on the planet consider it the highest honor to play one. Did Stradivari have a marketing department? Did he have a publicist? No. He had wood, a chisel, and an obsessive, all-consuming commitment to his craft. He poured his life, his knowledge, his very soul into every curve, every joint, every layer of varnish. He wasn't trying to go viral. He was trying to create the perfect sound. And he did. The work, the instrument itself, is the promotion. Its voice has spoken in concert halls for 300 years. It needs no introduction. Its quality is its story. Think about the best meal you've ever had. Did the chef come out to your table beforehand and give you a PowerPoint presentation on their culinary philosophy? Did they show you a reel of their best-rated dishes on Instagram? No, they stayed in the kitchen. They focused on the ingredients. They poured their skill, their passion, their very soul onto that plate. And when that plate was placed in front of you, the work spoke for itself. The aroma, the presentation, the explosion of flavors on your palate. That was the message. That was the promotion. You didn't need to be convinced. You were converted. You became the evangelist. You went and told your friends. You wrote a review. You spread the word. The excellence of the work compelled you to. This is what happens when you let your work speak for itself. You build a reputation that is authentic, that is earned, that is rooted in tangible value. It's a different kind of currency. Self-promotion can get you attention, yes, but it's often fleeting. It's based on perception. But a reputation built on the back of exceptional work, that's based on reality. It has weight, it has gravity, it pulls opportunities, respect, and recognition towards you in a way that shouting never could. It's the difference between a firework and a star. A firework is loud, it's flashy, it gets everyone's attention for a moment, and then it's gone, leaving only smoke. A star just hangs in the sky. It doesn't make a sound. But its quiet, consistent, brilliant light can guide travelers for generations. So, what are you building? A firework or a star? Are you crafting a hammer, or are you just talking about how great you are at building things? The choice is yours. But remember, true masters don't need to announce their arrival. Their presence and the quality of their work is all the introduction they will ever need. This brings us to something even bigger, something that transcends promotions and paychecks and public praise. It brings us to the idea of legacy. What will you leave behind? When your time in your chosen field is done, what will remain? What will be the story that your body of work tells? Denzel Washington often speaks about this. He's not just interested in being a successful actor. He's interested in creating a lasting impact. He said, at the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you've accomplished. It's about what you've done with those accomplishments. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better. It's about what you've given back. This is a profound shift in perspective. It's the understanding that our work isn't just for us. It's a tool, it's a vehicle for contributing something meaningful to the world. It's about planting trees under whose shade you know you may never sit. Building your legacy through excellence means setting a standard for yourself that is almost impossibly high. It's about deciding that good enough is never good enough. It's about approaching every project, every task, every single day with a commitment to creating your masterpiece. Not for the applause, not for the award, but for the sake of the work itself, for the respect of your craft. It's about being able to look at what you've created and say, with absolute certainty, I gave it my all. I left nothing on the table. This is how you build a legacy. It's not in one single monumental achievement. It's in the cumulative effect of 1,000 small acts of excellence. It's in the consistency of your high standards. It's in the integrity that is woven into the very fabric of your work. Your legacy is the echo of your character, heard through the quality of your contributions. And let's be clear, this path is not easy. It is fraught with challenges. There will be obstacles, there will be setbacks, there will be moments when you feel like you're pushing a boulder up a mountain, only to have it roll back down. This is where perseverance becomes your most trusted ally. Denzel knows a thing or two about perseverance. He once famously said, "Fall down 7 times, get up 8." It's a simple mantra, but it contains a universe of wisdom. It's the recognition that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every stumble, every fall, every mistake is a lesson. It's a chance to learn, to adapt, to grow stronger. Think of the Japanese art of kintsugi. When a piece of pottery breaks, they don't throw it away. They meticulously piece it back together using lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The cracks are not hidden, they are illuminated. The piece is considered more beautiful, more valuable, for having been broken. Its history of failure is now part of its beauty. This is how a master views failure. It's not the end. It's an opportunity to rebuild, stronger and more beautiful than before. The master doesn't fear failure. The master embraces it because they know that on the other side of that failure lies a deeper understanding, a greater resilience, a more profound mastery of their craft. Your legacy is being written every single day, with every email you send, with every line of code you write, with every customer you help, with every brushstroke you make. Each action is a sentence in the story of your professional life. Are you writing a story of mediocrity, a story of cutting corners and doing just enough to get by? Or are you writing an epic, a saga of excellence, of integrity, of relentless perseverance? Are you building something that will crumble the moment you walk away? Or are you building something that will stand the test of time, something that will inspire others long after you're gone? This is the heart of legacy. It's the understanding that the work you do today is a message you are sending to the future. Make sure it's a message of excellence. Make sure it's a message that counts. So how do we do it? How do we take these powerful ideas and apply them in our own lives, in our own careers? This is where we introduce what I like to call the Denzel Washington Effect. It's a practical framework for putting this philosophy into action. It's not complicated. It's not some secret formula. It's a simple, powerful, three-step process for transforming your work and ultimately your life. Step 1, define your goals. But I'm not talking about superficial goals. I'm not talking about I want to get a promotion or I want to make more money. Those are outcomes. They are byproducts. We need to go deeper. A Denzel level goal is about the craft itself. It's about mastery. So instead of I want to be a famous writer, your goal becomes I want to master the art of storytelling. I want to be able to craft a sentence so perfect it gives the reader chills. Instead of I want to be a successful entrepreneur, your goal becomes I want to build a product so elegant, so intuitive, and so genuinely helpful that it becomes indispensable to my customers. Instead of I want to be a famous painter, your goal becomes I want to understand color theory and composition so deeply that I can translate human emotion onto a canvas. See the difference? The first is about the ego. The second is about the work. It's about defining what excellence looks like in your specific field and making the pursuit of that excellence your North Star. It's about falling in love with the process, not just the prize. Take some time. Really think about this. What does mastery look like for you? What is the highest standard of quality you can imagine in your work? Define it. Write it down. Make it your mission. Step 2, focus on your craft. This is the grind we talked about. This is where you put your head down and you do the work. It means turning off the distractions. It means saying no to things that pull you away from your primary purpose. It means dedicating time every single day to honing your skills. It means embracing the concept of Kaizen, the Japanese philosophy of continuous incremental improvement. It's not about making one giant leap. It's about getting 1% better every single day. If you're a musician, it means practicing your scales. If you're a programmer, it means studying new languages and algorithms. If you're a leader, it means reading, listening, and learning how to better serve your team. This stage is about deep work. It's about deliberate practice. It's about creating a sacred space and a sacred time for your craft, protecting it fiercely from the intrusions of the shallow world. It's about becoming a student of your craft forever. It's the understanding that there is always another level to reach. There is always more to learn. The master is not the one who knows everything. The master is the one who is eternally curious, eternally humble, eternally dedicated to getting better. This is where you build your hammer. You pour all your energy, all your focus, all your passion into forging something of undeniable quality. You're not worried about who's watching. You're not worried about getting credit. You are obsessed, completely and utterly obsessed with the work itself. Step 3, let your work shine. This is the most crucial and perhaps the most difficult step for many of us. It requires a certain level of faith, a trust in the process. Once you have done the work, once you have created something of true excellence, You must have the courage to let it stand on its own. This doesn't mean you hide it in a drawer. You still have to put it out into the world. You have to ship the product. You have to publish the book. You have to perform the piece. But you do it with a quiet confidence. You don't need to surround it with hype and hyperbole. You let the quality be the message. You let the results be the marketing. You let the value you provide be the promotion. This step requires you to battle imposter syndrome, that voice that says you're not good enough. You must understand that releasing your work is not a bid for validation. It's an act of service. The solution you built, the story you wrote, the art you created, it might be the very thing someone out there is desperately searching for. To keep it hidden out of fear is to deny them that gift. It's a posture of quiet strength. It's the confidence of the master craftsman who lays their tool on the table and knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that its worth is self-evident. To truly live this, you must make a critical shift in how you measure your own worth. You must abandon the world's scorecard and create your own. I call it the inner scorecard. The world's scorecard, the outer scorecard, is based on metrics that you cannot control. It's likes, shares, promotions, awards, sales figures, public opinion. It is fickle, it is shallow, and it is always changing. Chasing the approval of the outer scorecard is a recipe for misery. It makes you a puppet, dancing to the whims of an audience that doesn't truly care about your soul. The inner scorecard, that is different, that is yours. It has only one judge, you. Its metrics are not results. They are effort, integrity, and growth. At the end of the day, the inner scorecard doesn't ask, did they love it? It asks, did you give it your absolute all? It doesn't ask, did it go viral? It asks, were you honest in the work? Did you tell the truth as you know it? It doesn't ask, did you win? It asks, did you learn? Did you become a better craftsman today than you were yesterday? Living by the inner scorecard is the ultimate act of freedom. It is how you reclaim your power. It's how you build a sense of self-worth so solid, so deep, so unshakable that the praise of the world becomes a pleasant bonus, not a desperate necessity. And its criticism becomes nothing more than data, information you can choose to use or choose to discard. When your sense of accomplishment comes from meeting your own impossibly high standards, you become invincible. Imagine applying this in your career. If you're in sales, instead of focusing on slick closing techniques, you focus on deeply understanding your customers' needs and providing so much genuine value that the sale becomes a natural conclusion. If you're a teacher, instead of worrying about winning teaching awards, you focus on creating such an engaging, inspiring, and effective learning environment that your students' success becomes your testimony. If you're an artist, instead of chasing likes and followers, you focus on creating work so honest, so vulnerable, so technically brilliant that it connects with people on a soul level. This is the Denzel Washington Effect in action. Define your standard of excellence. Dedicate yourself completely to the craft, and then have the faith to let your work, your beautiful, powerful, masterfully crafted work, speak for itself. But what does that voice sound like? The voice of your work when it finally speaks. Is it a whisper? Is it a roar? Is it a song that only a few can hear? Or is it an earthquake that shakes the very foundations of your industry? The truth is, it is all of these things and none of these things, because the voice of your work isn't heard with the ears. It's felt in the soul. It's a resonance. It's a frequency that vibrates with the truth of your effort, with the integrity of your intention. When someone experiences your work, a piece of your soul connects with a piece of theirs. They don't just see a painting, they feel the loneliness or the joy that you poured into it. They don't just read a story, they live the hero's journey alongside you. They don't just use a product, they feel the care, the thoughtfulness, the empathy that you engineered into its very design. That is the voice. It's a connection that bypasses the cynical mind and speaks directly to the hopeful heart. It's a voice that says, you are not alone. It says, I understand. It says, this was made for you. And that voice, that connection, is more powerful than any advertisement, any billboard, any viral video. But to hear that voice, to cultivate it, you must first win the war that rages within your own mind, because there are enemies in there. Oh yes, there are saboteurs and thieves who want to silence your work before it ever has a chance to speak. Do you know their names? I know you do. The first is a shadow that slinks in the corner of your eye. It's a whisper that sounds suspiciously like your own voice. Its name is doubt. It comes to you in the dead of night when you are tired and vulnerable. It says, "Who do you think you are? There are people who are more talented, more skilled, more connected than you. What makes you think you have anything new to offer? You're just going to embarrass yourself. It's safer to just stop. Give up. No one will even notice." Doubt is a coward. It preys on your insecurity. It wants you to play small, to stay in the shallow end, to never risk the magnificent failure that is the prerequisite for magnificent success. And right behind doubt comes its brutish cousin, fear. Fear is not a whisper. Fear is a scream. It's a cold sweat. It's a paralysis that freezes your hand above the keyboard, your brush above the canvas. Fear screams, "What if you fail? What if they laugh at you? What if you pour your entire being into this and the world just shrugs? What if you discover that your best isn't good enough?" The pain of that rejection, it will break you. Don't do it. Protect yourself. Stay safe. Fear is a prison guard, and the prison is your own comfort zone. It promises you safety, but it's the safety of a cage. It denies you the very thing you need to grow, risk. And while doubt and fear are attacking you from the front, there is a third, more insidious enemy, a siren, a sweet, comforting voice that promises you rest. Its name is mediocrity. It doesn't scream or whisper. It seduces. It says, "You've done enough. This is good enough. Why push so hard? Why obsess over the tiny details no one will ever notice? Relax. Take it easy. Life is short. Post something, anything, just to stay relevant. It doesn't have to be your masterpiece. Just get it done." Mediocrity is the most dangerous enemy of all because it feels like a friend. It feels like self-care, but it is a poison. It's the slow, creeping death of your potential. It's the bargain you make with your own soul, trading the fire of your ambition for the cold comfort of good enough. How do you fight these enemies? You don't fight them with logic. You don't reason with a shadow. You fight them by building a sanctuary, a sacred space for your creation. This isn't just a physical space, although that helps. It's a mental and spiritual fortress. It's your dojo, your monastery, your laboratory. It's the place you go to commune with your craft. When you enter this space, you leave the world behind. You turn off the phone. You close the tabs. You shut out the noise of other people's opinions and other people's metrics of success. You create a ritual. Maybe it's a cup of coffee. Maybe it's a specific song. Maybe it's just 10 deep breaths. But you signal to your mind, to your soul, it is time. It is time to do the work. In this sacred space, the voices of doubt and fear grow faint. They cannot survive in the presence of focused, disciplined action. And mediocrity is burned away by the heat of your commitment to excellence. You must protect this space with your life. It is where you forge your hammer. It is where you tend to the roots of your bamboo tree. It is the most important room in your entire existence. And in this room, you will face the great plateau, the plateau of despair. This is one of the hardest parts of the journey, and it's where most people quit. It's that long, agonizing stretch of time where you are doing everything right. You are showing up every day. You are on the grind, but you see no results, no progress, no improvement. You feel like you're running in place. The initial excitement has faded, and the final goal is nowhere in sight. This is the 5th rejection letter. This is the year 3 of the bamboo tree when all you see is dirt. This is the moment your own mind turns on you and says, "See, I told you, it's not working. You're wasting your time. All this effort for nothing." This plateau is a test. It's the universe asking you one question. How badly do you want it? Do you want it enough to keep going when there is no external validation? Do you love the process enough to continue, even without the promise of a prize? Are you committed to the craft, or were you just infatuated with the outcome? This is where faith is forged. Not faith in a specific result, but faith in the principle that consistent, dedicated effort will eventually compound into something extraordinary. You have to learn to love the plateau, to see it not as a sign of failure, but as a sign that you are in deep. You are building the unseen foundation. You are accumulating the potential energy that will one day result in a spectacular breakthrough. Every master has crossed this desert, and the only way out is through. And what happens when you're on that plateau? you will fail. It's not a possibility, it's a guarantee. You will write a terrible chapter. You will create a flawed design. You will miss the mark. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can see it as proof of your inadequacy, as evidence that doubt was right all along. Or you can see it as alchemy, the alchemy of failure. True masters don't just learn from failure, they use it. They transmute its leaden weight into gold. When a blacksmith forges a sword, they don't just heat the metal once. They heat it until it glows orange. Then they plunge it into the cold water. They hammer it. They beat it. They fold it. They heat it again. They plunge it again. This process of extreme stress, of fire and water, of pressure and impact is what aligns the molecules of the steel. It's what makes the blade incredibly strong, yet flexible. Your failures, they are the fire and the water. They are the hammer blows. Each time you fail and choose to get back up, to analyze what went wrong, to try again with new knowledge, you are tempering your own soul. You are folding new layers of resilience and wisdom into your character. You are becoming stronger, more flexible, more unbreakable. You must stop running from failure. You must stop being ashamed of it. Start collecting your failures like precious metals. Each one is a testament to the fact that you were brave enough to try. Each one is a key ingredient in the masterpiece you are destined to create. A work with no history of failure is a shallow work. A character with no scars is a weak character. Embrace the alchemy. Let your setbacks forge you into the master you were meant to be. But let's speak a hard truth. This path can be lonely. There is a profound loneliness to being a visionary. When you are truly on the edge, creating something new, something the world has not yet seen, you are, by definition, alone. No one else can see the cathedral in your mind's eye. They see you laying one brick in a muddy field, and they think you're crazy. They can't hear the symphony you hear. They just hear you plucking one strange note over and over. This isolation is a crucible. It will test you. It will make you question your own sanity. You will look around at everyone else on their well-trodden paths, getting their predictable rewards, and you will feel like an outcast. Do not mistake this loneliness for a sign that you are wrong. It is a sign that you are first. It is the price of admission for innovation. Every great creator, from Galileo to Van Gogh to Steve Jobs, knew this bone-deep loneliness. They were misunderstood, they were ridiculed, but they held to their vision with a white-knuckled grip because they knew they were onto something. You must learn to reframe this loneliness. It is not a void, it is a space. A sacred, silent space where your vision can grow without the contamination of public opinion. It is proof that you are not following a map, but drawing one. Embrace it. Find solace in it. For it is in that magnificent isolation that true genius is born. And a strange thing happens when you stay on this path, when you honor your craft in silence, when you embrace the grind, when you cross the plateau and alchemize your failures. You start to create an echo in the hallway. You may not hear it at first, but your work, your quiet, excellent work, starts to inspire people you will never meet. The young artist who sees your dedication and decides not to give up. The struggling entrepreneur who reads your story of perseverance and finds the strength for one more day. The team member who watches your integrity and raises their own standards. You become a silent mentor. Your work becomes a beacon. This is part of the legacy we talked about. It's not just in the final finished product, it's in the way you work. It's in the standard you set. People are always watching, not with judgment, but with a hunger for inspiration. Your commitment to excellence gives them permission to pursue their own. Your quiet dedication becomes a quiet revolution that ripples outwards in ways you can't even imagine. You think you're just laying one brick, but someone across the street is watching you, and the perfect way you lay that brick inspires them to build their own cathedral. That is a sacred responsibility. That is the echo of your soul. And then, one day, it happens. The bamboo tree shoots up, the hammer drives the final nail, the work is released into the world, and it speaks, and people listen. Success arrives, and this, my friends, is perhaps the final test, and it can be the most dangerous of all, because success brings the very thing you started this journey to avoid: noise, the noise of praise, the noise of expectation, the noise of new opportunities. And this noise can be more deafening than the silence ever was. It can pull you out of your sacred space. It can make you forget the grind. It can make you start to believe your own hype. It can make you afraid to fail again, because now you have something to lose. The master knows that success is not a destination. It's a new starting line. It's a test of your humility. Can you accept the praise with grace, but not let it inflate your ego? Can you enjoy the rewards, but not lose your hunger? Can you remember the feeling of being that person starting out, laying that first brick, and remain connected to that humility, that drive, that pure love for the work itself? Denzel Washington, after all his awards, all his accolades, still talks about the craft, about the work, about getting better. He never rests on his laurels, because he knows the moment you believe you have arrived is the moment you begin to decline. Handling success with grace is the final act of mastery. It's the proof that you weren't in it for the applause. You were in it for the love of the game. So I ask you again, as we stand here at the end of this journey together, why? Why are you on this earth? What is the fire in your belly? What is the story that only you can tell? What is the problem that only you can solve? What is the beauty that only you can create? Forget the noise, forget the likes, the shares, the fleeting fame. Look inside, find that thing, that one thing that makes you feel truly alive. That is your purpose, that is your North Star. But where does the fuel come from? What keeps the fire burning through the lonely nights and the brutal plateaus? Passion is the spark, yes, but passion can be fickle. You need a deeper well to draw from. You need sustainable fuel. What is that fuel? It is curiosity, the insatiable desire to know, to understand, to figure it out. It's the love of the puzzle. It is service. The profound, soul-deep satisfaction that comes from knowing your work is easing a burden for someone else, solving a problem, bringing a moment of joy or understanding. It is the simple, quiet pride of mastery. The pure, unadulterated joy of getting better at something for its own sake. The feeling of your hands and your mind working in perfect harmony. These are the fuels that will sustain you: curiosity, service, and mastery. When your passion wanes, your curiosity will pull you forward. When you feel like giving up, the thought of who you are serving will push you onward. And when you are lost, the simple act of practicing your craft will bring you home. And once you have it, I challenge you, I dare you to dedicate yourself to it, to build a sanctuary around it, to go to war for it against the enemies in your own mind. I dare you to embrace the glorious, monotonous, soul-fortifying grind. I dare you to walk with courage across the plateau of despair. I dare you to dance with your failures and turn them into gold. Build your hammer with such love, such care, such unyielding commitment to excellence that when the time comes, you don't have to say a single word. You just have to show up. You just have to share your gift. You just have to let your work, your life's work, your beautiful, scarred, powerful, and authentic work speak. The world is desperate for that voice, not another shout, but a true, clear, resonant signal. Go now. The silence is waiting. Your legacy is calling. It's time to build.